So in front of me here, I have the MKM Fara. This is a modern slip joint knife. And when I say modern, it's not like a lot of modern slip joints where they're like based on a traditional pattern or are similar to a traditional pattern, which is what most of the modern slip joints that I have are. Like the lion steel knives that I have, they're all kind of based on like traditional pocket knives. This is not. This is like a modern folder that just so happens to be a slip joint instead of like a locking folder. Um, I saw it and I thought it was kind of cool. I didn't buy it because I think it was kind of expensive. But I got this on a Black Friday deal. I got a lot of knives on Black Friday deals um, for like $50. So I was willing to try it out for that. Um, It's about a pretty medium sized knife, good enough to fit in your hand. I think the blade's about 3 inches, maybe three and a quarter, something like that. Fits really nice in your hands, really comfortable, even for my like bigger hands and everything. Um, this one's in green canvas micarta. I think they do a wood one as well, and there's probably other ones I'm unsure of. This one is the green micarta, which is what I would have wanted anyway. It's got this interesting little blue ring around the pivot there, a blue pivot ring thing, to add a little bit of color to this knife. Um, this knife is put together with screws, so I assume you could take it apart. I probably won't. Right here, you can see that it is a Lucas Burnley design. I don't remember what all else he designed. He's a pretty influential or popular designer, and this knife does have 390 steel. So you get micarta and M390 steel in a slip joint made by MKM, which is Maniago, Italy. It's like a group of knife makers out of Maniago. I'm definitely mispronouncing that, so I'm sorry to my Italian viewers if there are any. But it's a group of knife makers from Maniago, Italy. Again, sorry for mispronouncing that. To those of you that are possibly from Italy or maybe you speak Italian. Um, but anyway, it's a nice little knife. I think you just saw my slip joint action there. It does have a half stop. The action on it is very good. It does have this kind of like a groove. I wouldn't call it a nail neck because it's not a nail neck. But that makes it easier to grab onto. This knife is definitely a pinch open knife instead of a nail neck knife anyway. The blade is shiny enough that it's hard to get pictures and video of, so it's nice and polished up and all that. It's actually kind of more satin than it is polished. You can see there's lines there. It just so happens to be a very shiny satin, so kind of hard to get video and pictures of, which is always a pain in the butt. Just like the Lion Steel, modern slip joints, modern like Barlow's and stuff, the back spring is rounded on this so that if there were any perfections, it would be harder to see. Um, and yeah, nice put together pretty well, it seems. The other thing that I'm not super keen about on this knife is this right here. These, like, I guess they did it so you'd have a lanyard hole, but that's not something I care about. I would have rather just had the micarta continue over that or just get rid of that because it's kind of weird looking, and I don't really like having this like thin metal just kind of exposed there. Um, but that's just my opinion. You could certainly put some paracord through there or something if you wanted to. This knife did come with a little these MKM sheaths here that go on like the inside of your pocket, and then it's got this magnet thing, so you could like put it in your pocket, fix the magnet thing, and then in theory you'd be able to pull the knife out of the sheath and the sheath would stay in your pocket. I do have a red one of these and that doesn't work very well for the red one. I think I did try to pull this out of this while it was in my pocket when I got it, and it did work. It just doesn't work as well as like just reaching into your knife or reaching into your pocket and pulling your knife out. But this is cool. I'll probably use it when I carry this knife just because it came with it. I haven't used my red one at all. Maybe I'll start using that with something else. Um, but it's a cool idea for a like pocket slip. Just having something you can attach so it doesn't fall into your pocket, move around, and everything. Um, but yeah, cool that it comes with that. This one's brown. I assume they're all brown. Cool that it comes with that. It's a neat little knife. I don't know what this little detail here is. I assume that's just a style decision, something that they thought looked cool. And it doesn't break up like the line of the knife a little bit. It is just a little odd. Um, but overall, I do think that this is a very well made knife. I don't know how often I'll end up carrying it because it's not very often I want to bridge the gap between a traditional and a modern knife. Most of the time, I'm either carrying a traditional knife or a modern knife. And when I'm a lot of times, I'm actually carrying a traditional knife and a modern knife at the same time. This is something that kind of bridges the gap between modern and traditional knives. And I just don't know how often I'm going to go, oh, I want to carry that MKM thing, which is why I didn't want to spend the money that it was originally, which I think was around $100, which isn't bad considering you get M390 and micarta and it's made well and everything. But I didn't want to spend that. So $50, I figured it was worth trying out. It does have very good action. And I feel like certainly if you live in a country where you're just not allowed to have a locking knife, something like this might be great because again, you get that high wearing steel, that M390. Like modern constructions, you can take it apart and clean it if you want to. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's probably a great idea. Great, it's a great addition to somebody's life who lives in one of those countries that or areas where you're not allowed to have like a locking knife. That being said, most places where you're not allowed to have a locking knife, you're also not allowed to have something over 3 inches blade. So I'm not sure exactly how long this blade is, but I think it's around 3 inches. I'm trying to look around and see if I have anything to compare it to. I don't think I do. Um, Let me see here. I can compare it to this, which is the sad thing that I did the video on earlier. That doesn't help though. So yeah, I don't know. Blade's around 3 inches, maybe slightly more than that. So I'm not sure you're good legally there. But it is a slip joint. So if you're just not allowed to have a locking knife, this is probably a great idea. Um, yeah, seems well made. I like it. I just don't know how often I'm going to carry it because it's kind of a weird hybrid for me. Usually I'm either carrying a traditional, that's most of the time, or I'll throw a modern knife in my pocket occasionally. This will go in my pocket at least a little bit because I'm going to try it out and everything. And I probably will use the slip with it just to see how it works and everything. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video on this MKM Fara. Before I start getting any more blabbery, before I start babbling, there we go. Before I start babbling anymore. But anyway, it's going to be it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. I hope you have a good day.